Hey guys, it's Sarah, and let's talk about all the books that I read in the month of December. I did not read a ton. I only read 5 books. I got very, very busy. We were traveling, so I didn't read a lot on vacation either. I just didn't get through a whole lot of books, but that's okay. But I did read 5, so let's talk about what those are. The first one that I finished in December was a book that was on my top 8 I wanted to read in 2018, and that is Gerald's Game by Stephen King. I've talked about this book a couple times, but I did not enjoy it. I did listen to it on audiobook. That did not affect my enjoyment of it at all. Actually, when it first started, I was pretty intrigued, but the longer it went on, the less interested I was. And then I didn't like the way it had a big time jump in it, so it didn't make a lot of sense to me. And I ended up being pretty disappointed in this book, so I only gave it 2 stars. And then I picked up a book that I had gotten for review from Bookish First, and that is Everybody Always by Bob Goff. This is a Christian nonfiction book about pretty much, loving everybody always, even when there's difficult situations happening and it may seem hard to, express love and show love to other people. Sometimes it can be difficult to do that, but how to, really lean on God in order to get to that point. And it was definitely interesting. I don't feel like I learned a ton, to be honest with you, but I did enjoy his writing and he was pretty funny. Actually, a lot of this is based on his own personal experience and he talks about people in his life and stories and all that. And some of it was pretty funny. So I did end up giving this one 3 stars. Next one I picked up was also a book that was sent to me for review from Entangled Teen, and that is Paper Girl by Cindy R. Wilson. And this I really, really enjoyed. I flew through this really, really quickly. It follows a girl who has agoraphobia to the point where she cannot leave her family's apartment. She can't do it. She goes into immediate panic mode. Even looking at the elevator sends her into a panic. And she ends up needing to be tutored because she is homeschooled and she needs a tutor to help her with some math. And it ends up being one of her sister's best friends, who is also someone she's had a crush on for a long time. And in turn, he's had a crush on her and neither one of them know it. And it's a whole thing. And I really enjoyed this. I think it was just something I really needed at the time. I really needed something just fast and interesting. And that's exactly what this was. I really enjoyed it a lot. I didn't want to put it down. I really liked the characters and their dynamic and everything. It wasn't the best thing I've ever read, but it really fulfilled a need for me at the time when I read it, and I ended up giving it 4 stars. And then I picked up the last book that was on my top 8 I wanted to read in 2018, and that's Night Film by Marisha Pessl. And I think by now we all know how I feel about this book. I did not like it. I gave it 2 stars. It was very slow. It did not keep me interested at all. I thought it was almost a little bit too vague in the way some of the descriptions were, and even the parts that were supposed to be the most interesting and fast paced and everything, I could not have cared less. So yep, this one definitely missed the mark for me, which was really surprising. I really thought this was going to be a 5-star read for me, and it was not. It was only 2 stars. So definitely disappointed in this one. And the last book that I read in 2018 is In Dog We Trust by Beth Kendrick. This comes out January 8th, so I will have a separate review video for it, so I won't talk about it too much here because that will be coming up very soon. But this one is a contemporary and it is part of a companion series. And I think this is book number 5 or something, but they can all be read as standalone books. And this follows a young woman named Jocelyn, and she finds herself kind of inserted into this older man's life as she becomes a kind of a babysitter for his show dogs. They're like world champion show dogs. And she becomes kind of a companion for those dogs. And you kind of see where that takes her in her life. It takes her in a very different direction. And I enjoyed this one. I did end up giving it 3 stars. There were just some issues I had with it along the way, which I'll talk more about in my review. But for the most part, it was enjoyable. I read it pretty quickly. I really enjoyed the dogs. I thought they were adorable. And yeah, so, but definitely keep an eye out next week for my full review on this one. All right, guys, so those are the 5 books that I read in the month of December. I am also currently in a couple of books. I'm kind of in the middle of them, so I will talk about them more tomorrow on my January TBR. But I ended up ending the year reading 95 books. So definitely surpassed my Goodreads goal of 80. I was really proud of that. And again, for 2019, I will be shooting for 100. So wish me luck on that. But Yeah, I'm really happy with a lot of the books that I read this year. I read some really amazing ones and just some books that I'm excited to continue on with some series. I have started some new series this year that I want to continue on and read in 2019. So I'm very excited about it. But overall, I'm very, very happy with the books that I read this year. I think it was a really great reading year for me. All right, let me know down below what you guys read in December. What was your favorite book? Did you have any duds like I did? I had 2 duds, and I want to know all that information. And I will be back tomorrow with my very short January TBR. And I will talk to you guys again soon. Hope you have a good day. Bye.